Former Speaker of Parliament admits having taken iron sheets as Kabaka celebrates 68th birthday in the palace. A very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Welcome to UBC News tonight. My name is Micheal Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni is a sign language interpreter, and this is what we have for you this evening. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is optimistic that the presidential zonal industrial hubs for skilling the youth will help Uganda stop importing what can be made locally. While addressing a gathering shortly after commissioning the zonal industrial hub for Madi sub-region located in Dazaipi, Adjumani district, the president noted that while training the youth, the industrial hubs should remember to put emphasis on addressing the basic human needs, namely food, shelter, and clothing, saying that these can turn into business for them to earn a living in future. He was happy to learn that Adjumani Zonal Industrial Hub was doing exactly the same. President Museveni encouraged the administrators of the industrial hub to expand the scope of what they teach to the youth and add on, among other things, how to make animal feeds from maize and other raw materials.
Therefore, we are very confident that in this hub, we shall be having students enrolling each semester, and they will get the skills because there's total willingness to come here and learn.
Your Excellency, you are welcome home.
Amba, nyene karibu baru, anjititine.
Your Excellency, we now join the rest of the parts of the country to thank you.
Amasa. Bazi karizitika Uganda rere amakwea ila nyanzozo amba
for this strategic intervention to transform the new generation from idleness, from high dependence syndrome to productivity. Your Excellency, we are proud of you, and you are doing all this to save us from a lot of problems.
Kuroza is to make somebody taste.
De au sidru bakanyi ubi.
To show you what it can be done.
Asuru itere jwaro nyini baka wariado idei.
In a modern society.
Odu dia laki lafo taodiri titroe.
In the economics in schools,
lini malidiga sukuru ase.
We studied that human needs are food,
ta winilela kanare taba alelere linya,
shelter,
jo,
and clothing.
Bongotro,
the basic ones.
Ledita do basikole akolo are.
Therefore, when you are training your people in skills,
na itisi jonyili nike. Ba nyiti ni taitezo yangasiwa.
You must address remember that.
Kole nyini tanatinya rawa.
Human beings want food.
Ba oleta linyare.
How do I produce food?
Malinya di swingoni.
How do I process it?
Maitu akere cholinya ingoni.
How do I preserve it?
Mata na mbai voloroko ingoni.
If you put your business there, you will never go wrong.
Joy banya ide ni kare naiga nye ambikpe.
To produce food,
linye suka,
process it,
tana mpaka tuye chokanangbi
store it,
tana mpaka kevoloroko
you will never be poor.
That was at the Zonal Industrial Hub, and a point of correction, it's called JIP, not ZIP as written. Moving on, Interreligious Council of Uganda have asked the government to consider establishing a ministry that will handle issues of guidance, religious affairs and national harmony. This is contained in their resolutions read out by Pastor Dr. Joseph Serada, the president of Born Again Faith in Uganda, at the end of the 4-day retreat held at Imperial Resort Beach Hotel in Entebbe.
A resolution by the Interreligious Council of Uganda is seeking for an independent government ministry.
New Ministry of Guidance, Religious Affairs and National Harmony. Finally, resource mobilization. The purpose of this retreat was to explore ways in which IRC could leverage on our resources for effective delivery of our mission. The leaders resolved to maximize their God-given resources while partnering with others. IRCU should tap into.
Religious leaders expressed concern of torture, abductions, domestic violence and killings in society and promised to establish rehabilitation centers to deal with the challenge.
That all IRC member organizations plan to establish rehabilitation, recovery and healing centers to respond to this need. That the IRCU Secretariat will advocate for government to support IRCU member bodies.
The Archbishop of the Anglican Church in Uganda, Dr. Stephen Kazemba Mugalu, thanked the government for the support given to the council to carry out its work. However, Kazemba expressed concern that the government funding has been cut by 80% from 2.5 billion to shillings 500 million only. Archbishop Kazemba Mugalu also asked the government to revive the national dialogue for promoting peace and harmony in the country.
This support goes towards paying of some of our operations of our work, and then enables us to pay staff who then do further fundraising for most of our work. We have been told that the Ministry of Finance has now reduced this support under 500 million Uganda shillings from the 2.5 billion, which is actually a reduction of 80%. From what we have been receiving.
Prime Minister Rubina Nabanja, in her closing remarks, assured the Interreligious Council of Uganda that issues raised during the retreat shall be handled one by one.
Strengthening morals and integrity in our society. This requires us to have a combined effort. That is government and you, the Interreligious Council. The national dialogue. This one I will directly take it to the President. He has a bigger say on this, and I believe he will put his input.
Nabanja said that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni directed the government to fund the council. She thanked the Interreligious Council of Uganda for their complementary work to the government.
I welcome the idea of resource mobilization because sometimes, as you are aware, I've had a number of meetings with some political players on both sides, both the opposition and NRM. We really need to mobilize resources for you. And the President is aware. Recently, in the cabinet, I'm surprised to see that government is now reducing on the funding, and yet the President directed otherwise. So I promise to use my powers as Prime Minister to see that your budget is raised. Where possible, it can even be enhanced.
The Prime Minister dismissed reports of torture of political opponents in the country.
To me, this is not right. Domestic violence, that one is right. Physical torture, this is questionable. Abductions, this is questionable. Because you know the type of political players we have. Sensitive. The fact is, you know that the political players we have now are .com, and therefore they will use any avenue to depict the government as insensitive. There are no political killings.
The retreat that attracted religious leaders from Ethiopia, DR Congo, Tanzania, and Uganda ran under the theme Harnessing the Power, Assets, and Potential Faith Communities to Drive Social Transformation amidst global dynamic challenges. The purpose of the retreat was to explore ways in which IRCU could leverage her resources for effective delivery of her mission. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, officially opened Equity Bank's branch in Ntungamo district and also launched the bank's Equi Mama product for women in business.
Mrs. Museveni was welcomed at the bank premises located in Ntungamo municipality by the top management and staff of Equity Bank, led by the Managing Director Anthony Chituka, cut the tape, unveiled the plague, and made a brief tour of the bank. She later met and addressed a gathering at Ntungamo Municipal Grounds, from where she launched Equity Bank's transformative credit facility, dubbed Equimama. The facility is designed to unlock the entrepreneurial potential of women in rural Uganda and will specifically benefit women at the grassroots level. Mrs. Museveni appreciated Equity Group leadership for honoring her request to open a bank in Ntungamo district and for creating a product that specifically benefits women. She was grateful that a bank founded by Africans was taking deep root and growing to enable fellow Africans.
So I requested specifically that can they consider opening a branch in Ntungamo, and secondly, to provide a product that would specifically benefit women at the grassroots level. But in my heart, I wanted to see our women walk into a bank and borrow money for their small-scale businesses with ease, without being harassed and without being reminded that they may not be able to pay back and all that. So today, I am so grateful to God for answering that prayer as we launch the Equity Bank branch in Ntungamo district as Equimama product, which is specifically designed to meet the needs of small-scale women and youth entrepreneurs.
The First Lady added that she was grateful to Equity Bank for extending its banking services in Ntungamo and for considering women and the youth who have for long faced difficulties in obtaining loan facilities due to the lack of collateral, as well as limitations in exercising their property rights. She commended the board and management of Equity Bank for the Equimama product innovation, which provides unique features that empower women and youth to manage their finances, obtain low-interest loans, access financial advisors, enjoy flexible payment options, and acquire entrepreneurial education.
These and other programs play a complementary role to the government's efforts to increase financial inclusion as well as improving household incomes.
The minister appealed to leaders of Ntungamo to mobilize the women and youth to benefit from Equity Bank and its innovations. She encouraged the target beneficiaries to collaborate and have the financial discipline to save and accumulate their saving and investing what they have saved before borrowing. Equity Bank Managing Director Anthony Chituka said the Ntungamo branch is the 50th to be opened in Uganda since the bank started operations in the country in 2018. Talking about the Equimama product, Chituka explained that the credit facility aims to provide women with access to affordable capital, equip women with business skills, offer them mentoring, expose them to business networks, and equip them with the tools they need to succeed in business. He further said that the Equimama loan has low interest rates, favorable payment terms, and it comes with financial literacy and entrepreneurship training for women in business, plus medical insurance from maternity, life catastrophe, fire and temporary or permanent disability. The function was also attended by Bank of Uganda's Director Commercial Banking, Hannington Waswa, Ntungamo District Leadership, and Women Group Leaders, among others. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Speaker of Parliament Anita Among has returned the controversial iron sheets which were meant for Karamoja vulnerable community. After hours of following the right procedure, the Office of the Prime Minister acknowledged reception of the 500 iron sheets which Speaker Anita Among is said to have received. Recently, Among described the move to return the sheets as protecting the Parliament's reputation.
A team from the Office of the Speaker of Parliament camped at the Office of the Prime Minister's Stewards at Namave, a Kampala suburb, to deliver 500 iron sheets.
So we received the paperwork from Office of the Prime Minister, and we received communication from Office of the Right Honorable Speaker. So as we talk, we are receiving the iron sheets.
Speaker Anita Among openly agreed to have received 500 iron sheets from an unknown address, and she distributed them to various schools in her constituency.
I have sent my personal assistant to take back the iron sheets to OPM.
Now, the factory required authorization from the Office of the Prime Minister to be able to supply the Office of the Prime Minister. It is yesterday that we discovered from the time the factory wrote to the Office of the Prime Minister, they claimed the OPM had not responded to them. So yesterday we got a physical copy of the authorization and delivered it to the factory, and that is why the delivery happened today.
As the controversial iron sheets saga hits hard on top government officials, the Speaker procured 500 iron sheets through MMI Steels Company, with each costing 71,000 Uganda shillings.
It was important for us to identify, because these iron sheets are made strictly for the Office of the Prime Minister. So there was a process that had to be taken to identify the contracted contractors, and it is only the contracted contractors who supply this quality. So the rest of the things we are doing, we are background paying for them, and then making sure that the right quality and the right amount is actually delivered.
Over 80,000 iron sheets meant for Karamoja vulnerable communities landed on the wrong hands, and investigations have since put the Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Mary Goretich Tutu, behind bars. It is still uncertain as to the fate of the investigations, despite a move by the Speaker Anita Among to return the iron sheets. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs Rebecca Alitwala Cadaga says she will not return the Karamoja iron sheets. Instead, she will pay for them. The woman member of Parliament for Kamuli District requested for the iron sheets to rehabilitate public schools and health centers that were destroyed by hailstorms last year in her area. Cadaga was appearing before the Presidential Affairs Committee of Parliament, which is investigating 25 ministers who were implicated in the Karamoja iron sheets saga.
The first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Alitwala Cadaga, has appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Presidential Affairs for interrogations over the Karamoja iron sheet saga. The Premier's name is among the 25 ministers implicated in iron sheet saga meant for the Karamoja.
I got these iron sheets for the schools you have seen there. These are children of Uganda. The health centers treat Ugandans. Up to today, they are not getting treatment. So I'll pay for them and continue with the programs. I'm looking for money to build that school, or there's a government school. I'm looking for money to build that health center. Because these are Ugandans, and I represent them. So for me, that's the way.
Cadaga acknowledged having requested for the 500 iron sheets to rehabilitate public schools and health centers that were destroyed by the hailstorm last year.
In August 2022, when the district of Kamuli and other places, I think, suffered severe hailstorms, a number of our facilities, schools, health centers, churches, households were damaged. So I received requests from the population for relief. So I accordingly wrote to the Office of the Prime Minister, and I've got copies of the letter.
The committee that followed Cadaga at her office at Kingdom House in Kampala was led by the vice chairperson of the committee, Naomi. The members wondered why the first deputy premier has not delivered the iron sheets to the beneficiaries 2 months after receiving them, yet she got them for managing disaster.
Ordinarily, Right Honorable, one would have asked a question from the inner conscience. How this donation came up to be approved for distribution or for dispensation. Did it ever occur to you that you should have questioned Kitutu about the source of these iron sheets?
And after receiving the iron sheets, up to now, the iron sheets have not been given out to the beneficiaries that had suffered the calamity. What is he thinking about the iron sheets now?
The line minister for Karamoja Affairs, Dr. Mary Goretti, is already in prison, and it awaits to be seen if more ministers will follow suit. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Government, in partnership with the Indian government, has established a National Forensic Science University to equip security personnel with specialized training in forensic scientific methods of investigation. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was represented by the 3rd Deputy Prime Minister, Lukomwa Nakadama, at the function in Jinja at the Uganda Rapid Deployment Capability Center, Gaddafi Barracks.
To thank the government of the Republic.
The inauguration of the National Forensic Sciences University at the Uganda Rapid Deployment Capability Center, Gaddafi Barracks, in Jinja, was officiated by the 3rd Deputy Prime Minister, Lukomwa Nakadama, who represented President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Number of 130 acres of land on a 99-year lease has been secured in Jinja, Uganda, for the construction of the permanent campus.
The university is established on the partnership basis between the government of Uganda and the Indian government. The university will create forensic and allied experts to manage complex security situations.
The campus gives Uganda the opportunity to create a pool of experts in the various fields in forensic sciences and hence build the country's capacity in forensics and allied sciences.
The Indian delegation was led by India's external minister and committed to further bilateral defense relations between Uganda and India.
India's National Forensic Services University, Sciences University, is opening its campus in Uganda, partnering with the Ugandan People's Defense Forces. This is the first foreign campus of the National Forensic Sciences University. Even more important, it is actually the first government university of India opening a campus anywhere abroad.
UPDF is set to leverage on this university to facilitate technological transfer and enhance defense capabilities for emerging security threats.
To plug the gap of shortage of forensic experts in our country and in the region, provide capabilities that will make Uganda and the region safer, provide opportunity to advance in forensic sciences, crime management, and policy formulations.
The established National Forensic Sciences University will spur generational management of contemporary security, leveraging on science and technology. Abdul Nasili Lukomwa for UBC.
The Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, has appealed for a more united Buganda. He was speaking at his 68th birthday celebrations at an event held in his palace in Mengo.
Uganda celebrates the birthday of the King, His Royal Highness Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II, every 13th day of April annually. Over 1,000 people from within and outside of the kingdom attended this celebration held at Rubiri Mengo in Kampala. His Royal Highness the King of Uganda Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II advised the people of Uganda and others to consider unity as a way of rebuilding their culture.
Okwegatta gwe musingi gw'obuwanguzi bwaffe. Ndowooza ensonga eyo njagala okugiddamu. Okwegatta gwe musingi gw'obuwanguzi bwaffe. Era ndasaba nti ensonga eyo tugitwale mu maaso.
The Kabaka was appointed as the Africa Goodwill Ambassador for ending AIDS among men in Eastern and Southern Africa with a special focus on Uganda by UNAIDS in 2017. Using his position, he calls on the leaders to sensitize the masses, fight AIDS and other communicable diseases that are killing the young generation.
Kyewoleka bulungi mu kulwanyisa endwadde ya siriimu nga tukubiriza abantu baffe okwekuuma, okwekebeza n'okwejjanjabisa era n'obutafuuwa nnyo sigala era Katikkiro bwe yagambye.
The Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, tipped the people on being developmental and living a healthy life by eating healthy.
Is instrumental in the development not only of the kingdom but of the country. The health campaigns that the Kabaka has spearheaded have significantly contributed to the well-being of the people, which is necessary or the precondition for any development to take place. We therefore urge you to heed the Kabaka's call on all issues related with health.
In attendance at the function were, among others, ministers from Uganda Kingdom, Uganda government, KCCA political leaders, and the clergy. Apart from the birthday celebrations, Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi will on Sunday 16th April flag off the annual birthday run in Mengo under the theme Fight to End AIDS, HIV by 2030. Justin Nakami, Daniel Lukomwa, UBC News.
Relatedly, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has purchased 1,000 Kabaka birthday run kits valued at 20 million shillings to be distributed to the public across Kampala especially. He was represented by the National Vice Chairperson in charge of Western Uganda, Balam Barugahara.
The MK Movement team has this Thursday paid a courtesy call on the seat of the Kabaka of Buganda at Bulange Mengo, where General Muhoozi Kainerugaba purchased this year's Kabaka's birthday marathon kits. General Muhoozi was represented by the MK Movement National Vice Chairperson, Western Uganda, Balam Barugahari.
We are here to support our king. We are here to support Buganda, and we are here to support as MK Movement. And our chairman, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is part of us. He has contributed 20 million to the cause, the birthday Kabaka.
The Buganda Kingdom Minister in charge of Sports, Henry Sekabembe Chiberu, later received the team.
The younger people of this country, if we are told we are to fare highly and scale the heights, as far as all other aspects, let it be politics, let it be economics, the first common and most important variable is health. Therefore, I want to urge you to make sure that you safeguard yourselves as far as this virus is concerned. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate everybody who is behind this. I want to appreciate everybody who has participated, and I want to thank you so much for your being here. May long live the King, His Majesty.
The Kingdom welcomed this generous gesture.
I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Kingdom of Buganda to welcome you here on this very, very important day when we are celebrating the birthday of His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda.
General Mohozi tagging along the youth, our MK movement, we are driving along the youth. We felt it is very important. Anything that brings youth together, or that protects the life of the youth, or that empowers the youth, it's very important we work together and support it. So our general, the chairman of MK movement, has directed me and the other members of the committee to ensure that we support all youth activities in all kingdoms across the country.
The 1,000 kits were later distributed across the central business district, with markets and taxi parks taking the biggest share.
Over 25,000 leaders in West Buganda, particularly in the districts of Kasanda, Mubende, Mityana, among others, who have been undergoing a 3 days training, will be officially commissioned on Friday, the 14th of April, in Kasambia County, Mubende District. The Passover ceremony will be witnessed by the Senior Presidential Advisor on Operations, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
These are some of the 2,500 members of the communities from West Buganda, mainly from the districts of Kasambia, Kasanda, Mubende, Chegegwa and Mityana, who have been here for almost 4 days.
We have had this retreat for 4 days.
And this kind of training we've been inculcating norms and values in this lower cadreship of leaders, but also empowering them as leaders with the necessary, the requisite information needed to furnish their people.
These local leaders have been going through various activities and trainings.
You give people information, you have empowered them. You will not go to every village with the unit of military to protect them. You give them wisdom, you have protected them.
Among the facilitators here today has been the State Minister for Lands, Sam Mayanja.
They are there in ignorance, suffering and running away from these bullying title holders. So mine is to empower them with information. And once you have empowered them with information, these are all leaders. They will go and give them the same information to the people in the villages. We shall have power. People will be protected by their knowledge and ability to defend what they know, and also knowing that we can go higher.
According to Brigadier General Patrick Mwesije, the head of the Patriotism desk from the Office of the President, what these members of communities carries back is very promising.
Our emphasis here mostly was about the 4 principles of ideology: patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy or governance. But of the 4, we are emphasizing patriotism and socio-economic transformation. Patriotism, we mostly were emphasizing not to discriminate themselves according to religion and tribes.
However, according to the attendants of this training, they still have a long way to go.
Batuyigiriza naddala ebintu ebyettaka tubisanyukidde nnyo kubanga tufunye muli amaanyi n'obuvumu
tuyinza okukola emirimu egy'enjawulo nga tetusevinga ate tuyiga okubeera n'emmere kubanga bw'obeera n'emmere mu makaago bwe bugagga obusoose.
We want the general to inform the president that your people in Mubende, these people give President 700%, and they are willing to do the same for him. We are facing a challenge of land grabbing. Just recently, 1 week, a group of people came with soldiers and evicted our people, and those are some of the issues that we are looking forward to sharing with General Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who also serves as the Senior Presidential Advisor Special Operations, will be coming to Mubende, particularly here in Kasambia County, and also to launch the MK Movement chapter for West Buganda. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kasambia.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under the auspices of the East African Community, will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2023 from the 9th to the 11th of May 2023 at the Kampala Serena Hotel in Uganda. Take full advantage of the investment opportunities in the East African region's vibrant oil and gas sector. To find out more on how to sponsor, exhibit, or attend the 10th EAPCE 23, visit www.eapce23.eac.int.
10 years of supporting health in Uganda. This year, the Kabaka Birthday Run will mark its 10-year anniversary on Sunday, 16th April at Lubidi, starting 7 a.m. and continue the fight to end AIDS by 2030. Buy your running kit today at 20,000 shillings from Airtel shops, Benchwanuka, Fubani, New Taxi Pack, or Majestic Brands office in Bulange Mango. You can also pay using Airtel Money. Dial *185 *5#. Kits purchased using Airtel Money shall be picked from Airtel Wampe or Shop. Proudly sponsored by.
It's the encounters with our majestic gorillas, the thrill of taking on the falls of the Nile River, the joy of discovering new traditions, and a lot more. Join us at the 2023 Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo from the 26th to the 29th of April at the Commonwealth Resort, Munyonyo. Rediscover our country's uniqueness and see what the tourism sector has in store for you. Visit www.poate.co.ug to secure your spot and get set to learn, network, and explore. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board in partnership with Competitiveness and Enterprise Development Projects. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Jerry con! Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry con with muscle! Those ones who say go is for you only. Mundava! Best group is I teach you. But I'm going to put them squad because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry car.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Ministry of Health has conducted a stakeholders engagement meeting to assess the uptake of HPV vaccine among girls aged 10 years and above. The meeting is aimed at creating awareness on the cervical cancer, shares current statistics, success stories, and also highlights the challenges on issues to do with vaccination and immunization programs in the country.
The Ministry of Health, together with the Uganda Women's Cancer Support Organization, are calling upon parents and guardians to take their children aged 10 and above for human papillomavirus vaccination against cervical cancer. The appeal was made during stakeholders' engagement meeting to assess the uptake of human papillomavirus in the country. The prevalence of cervical cancer is on the rise among low-income countries and causes significant morbidity and mortality. Human papillomavirus screening and vaccination is projected to prevent up to 1 death per 1,000 women by 2034.
Women who are between 25 to 49 years should be able to be screened for cancer of the cervix every after 3 years. And those who are living with the HIV/AIDS should be able to be screened every year. But we have noted with concern that many of our women are not actually taking up this kind of service. And eventually what happens is that those who get a cancer of the cervix, by the time they get to know, it is too late. That's why we tend to lose many of these women.
If we can emphasize full vaccination against the human papillomavirus, we have the capacity to completely eliminate cervical cancer in Uganda. So we are making a call, an appeal to all of us, parents out there, please take your children, 10 years, at the age of 10, the young girls, ensure that they go for cervical cancer vaccination of the human papillomavirus, and it is a routine immunization available as and when you need it at the health center, and it is free. That is our appeal, because with that we shall improve the health of mothers and girls in this country. Thank you.
Now activists are calling upon the government and the Ministry of Health to invest heavily in cancer data collection in the country for proper management.
Is improved data collection. A lot of the data that we use is from just one, the Kampala Cancer Registry. So this is one thing that as a country we need to invest in, because we cannot effectively address these issues if we don't even know the numbers of women that are affected. So whatever we talk about in terms of burden are mostly what has been got from within Kampala, but we know that one of the biggest challenges we have with cancer care in this country is that over 70% of those who are diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, report when it is already late.
More than 80% of sexually active men and women worldwide are prone to contracting human papillomavirus. HPV is responsible for an estimated 630,000 new cases of cervical and genitourinary cancer worldwide annually. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Minister for Education and Sports Janet Museveni has commended Uganda National Commission for UNESCO for providing intellectual leadership, influence, policy and actions in education, science, culture and communication for peace and sustainable development in Uganda. This was contained in a speech read for her by State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the launch of the celebrations for 60 years of Uganda National Commission for UNESCO at the National Theatre in Kampala.
The Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has commended United Nations Education, Scientific and Culture Organization for its contribution to peace, justice, respect for human rights through education, science, culture, among others. This was contained in the speech read for her by the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, at the launching of the celebrations of the organization's 60 years of existence in Uganda.
But education, science, and culture and communication that constitute the core fields of competence for UNESCO and the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO are important in the development of society. The government of Uganda, as you may be aware, attaches great importance to these competences. Government has accordingly created an enabling environment to foster growth and the development of these sectors.
The General Secretary UNATCOM, Rosa Goy, explains the importance of 60 years celebrations due in August this year of Uganda National Commission for UNESCO.
For burying the dead, especially in Buganda, has also been inscribed on the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It is something that is being conserved, preserved, and we have had interventions in Fiji to ensure that the mutuba trees are planted in large numbers and that the youth are trained in backcloth making.
The former Vice-Chancellor Ndeja University, Professor Lugujo Eriab, commended government for the new curriculum and emphasizing science subjects.
Because the basis of humanity or humanism is arts. A human being without embarrassment, is robotic. You cannot live robotic lives. So the issue is emphasize the science, but at the same time also don't neglect the arts.
Mary Namkose, Salongo Kasvanti, UBC News.
Let's take a short break. Don't miss business news tonight on return.
This is a quick call. I'm almost out of minutes. Now, the center.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100*1#. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry can with muscle. Those ones who say go is for you only. Mundava! First group is I teach you. But I'm going to put them scary because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
UBC News Tonight, Business. The proprietor of Aviation Training Academy has appealed to the government to help them fight corruption in the aviation industry, which they say is preventing many students from getting jobs after completing their training in various aviation studies. Captain Mike Mukula made these remarks while speaking to aviation students after the field training conducted at Entebbe International Airport.
The aviation sector is one of the growing sectors after the government started allowing private institutions to start training students in aviation. However, Captain Mike Mukula, one of the founders of the Aviation Institutes, expressed concern over the corruption that is still rampant in the industry.
But I think it is the institutional framework of government to fight corruption using what you call the available means. And there are three pillars or key pillars in fighting corruption. One is the institutional framework, second is the legal framework, and three, the political will.
Mukula said many students graduate from institutes but fail to find jobs due to lack of information from those who can help them to join the world's leading airlines.
To open up and allow many of the Ugandans who are professional now under the IATA syllabus, where they are trained and they get international diplomas under IATA, to absorb them, if not attach them for industrial training. This is the bright future, and this that the young people are looking at and yearning for. So these are part of the challenges we face, basically industrial attachment and training.
However, Captain Mukula and the students of Uganda Aviation Academy thanked the Civil Aviation Authority for helping them learn more about aviation during the training they attended today.
I want therefore to thank the team and the students and encourage them to be serious about the aviation industry and training and avoid HIV and AIDS, continue to remain healthy and aim high. As
the ignorance about aviation to the people, you find people don't know so much about aviation. And aviation is really a very good industry, the fastest growing industry, I think, in the world right now.
Atuize ate ebyomunda airport engeri gye kwasaganyibwamu airport engeri gye tambulamu amateeka agafuga abantu amateeka agafuga abakozi b'oku airport buli muntu buli position gyakolamu oba buli sector gyakolamu akola mulimu ki.
They asked the government to provide them with more assistance, especially by establishing good relationships with other countries so that they can get jobs. Lydia Chonkama, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
In the world of sport, action in the Stanbic Uganda Cup continues on Friday with Vipers SC hosting Calvary at the St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende, Wakiso District. John Barnes Sentamu has it in detail.
Down to Martin Kiza. There's a very good ball. Vipers! Oh, sweet!
Two-time Uganda Cup winners of Vipers Sports Club will this Friday return to action with a quarter-final tie against FUFA Big League side Calvary FC.
We're going to give our best because they have ever happened to us sometimes back, losing at home against a big league team. It was Black Powers a couple of seasons back.
It's the first time that Vipers play at home, having ejected Bujumbura United, Ginger North and Wakiso Giants away, and all on penalties.
I know we've been struggling lately, but I think now we're on the right track. When you look at our last game, I think now we are about to be there. We are trying to see that we come back strong, as I've been telling you. So I know the game won't be easy, but we have to win because we are at home.
A semi-final slot will be at stake for Vipers to join Police FC that ejected the reigning champions Bull FC.
Our captain Kalisa wasn't available in our last game. He was suspended with 3 yellow cards. We think he's ready for the game, and we think he will be on the pitch tomorrow. We still have some injuries. I don't know. I need to talk to the doctor and see whether there are also some players who can feature tomorrow.
The other quarter-final games are Jumani versus Express FC on Saturday, while Soltilo Bright Stars will host KCC FC on Sunday. This year's Uganda Cup winner bags 50 million Uganda shillings. John Barnes Sentamu, UBC.
John Barnes Sentamu brings us to the end of all we had for you at this point. Let's get back to you at 10 p.m. with more news. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth and Nakakoni and the whole team. We wish you the best.